Unless you believe in coincidences, why is Reagan playing right now in theaters 2 months before the election of Donald Trump? Who did that? Who thought of that? Was that planned? I believe it was, but not by Donald Trump. I believe it was planned by the God of heaven who arranged for this moment in time. Is there something in that movie that needs to be given a voice? Is there a message in that movie that we need to hear? Is there something that needs to be brought back to our conscience? Have we become so rattled with the nuances and the minutia of life that we have forgotten what we are fighting for, the heart and soul of America? Is this movie, has it been placed in our face to bring us back to the center, the core of what we are as Americans? What was the main thing that Ronald Reagan stood against? The very thing that is trying to overtake our nation today. What a moment. What did Ronald Reagan stand against more than anything? Communism. And what a moment for this movie to bring our collective thoughts back to what matters. Because indeed, my friend, I tell you tonight that this election that's happening in 62 days is an election between American capitalism and democratic communism. It's an open secret that many American Democrats admire communist China. Senator Elizabeth Warren praised China's commitment to state-funded infrastructure. Senator Bernie Sanders praised China for, and I quote, lifting more people out of extreme poverty than any country in history. Yet, one of the most zealously pro-Chinese politicians in America is now on the ticket to be your vice president. He is the most zealously pro-Chinese politician in all of America, Minnesota governor and vice presidential candidate Tim Death Waltz. After working as a high school teacher in Guangdong, China in 1989, Death Waltz tried to import those Chinese values into the United States. During a lesson on China's communist system in November of 1991, this high school teacher, Tim Death Waltz, told a class of Minnesota high school students that communism, and I quote, means that everyone is the same and everyone shares. The doctor and the construction worker make the same amount of money. He went on to tell them that the Chinese government and the place they work for provides your housing and 30 pounds of rice per month. They get free food and free housing. That is what Death Waltz believes about China, that it's an equitable system of government. You listen to me and listen well. You have forgotten about communism. That's right. Nobody talks about it anymore. But there's a movie in your local theater that will put it front and center, right back in front of the voting population. From what I understand, the movie is selling out all over the nation. God put this movie there to remind you about something that you thought was gone and done away with. And here is a man, Tim Deathwalt's China Tim, that is, he's in admiration of China. He also said in 1991, he wrote an article in the Nebraska Alliance Times-Herald that focused on his work on student exchange programs in China, and he glorified the Chinese communists. If you and I do not wake up and realize that Donald Trump is anti-China for a reason, then we will be as dumb. I said we will be as dumb as some people on my Facebook timeline. I'm not going to show the lady's name, but I want to show you there's a lady on my timeline that loves Kamala Harris. She says, if I unfriend you over politics, it's not because we disagree. It's because I don't like you anymore after knowing your true beliefs. And at the top, she tells you what she thinks you and I are. Racist. Why? Because we don't like Kamala. Bigots, misogynist, xenophobic. According to these liberals, because we don't agree with them, we are all of the above. Now, I'd like to show you another post that she made today. She tells all of her followers that all 455 seats in the United States House of Representatives will be up for election. We need everyone to vote blue up and down the ballot if we want President Harris to reverse the damage done. Now, I want you to notice what liberals' top policy concerns are. Not communism, not independence, not fair trade. No. Notice what they go to as their top concerns. Why they must have Harris for women's rights so they can kill children. And then LGBTQ plus rights so they can approve of abominations. Voting rights so everyone can vote without having to show an ID. Immigration reform. In other words, allow them all to come in. Climate issues and stopping Project 2025. In a liberal brain, that's what matters. Women's rights, LGBTQ plus rights, climate change, immigration reform. Not stopping immigration, reforming it to where it's no longer a crime to be illegal. But Ronald Reagan had a different concern for America: communism. In case you've forgotten, I'd like to refresh your memory of what communism is. Karl Marx said that the theory of the communists can be summed up into one single sentence: the abolition of private property. I don't know if you've noticed a trend over the past several decades, but there is an agenda to turn everyone into renters. There's a push to take away the glory of home ownership, property, land. Everyone just become Airbnb renters. Take away the pride of owning property. There's a reason that the minds are being changed in America, because to bring in communism, you have to do away with private property. That is their main. And then the next thing, income equality. You're going to hear when you hear a politician say equity, that does not mean equality. They believe that everyone should start and end in the same position, no matter who puts in the harder work. According to Karl Marx, everyone shares. But you see, that's a lie. Under communism, you don't share. No. You're forced to share. They rob you of the fruit of your labor and make it equitable to everyone else. And it's not willingly, darling. The government is forcing you to pay more taxes so that you can give to those that want to sleep on grandma's couch till they're 35 years old, smoke crack from the crack of dawn to the setting of the sun, and everyone gets the same piece of the pie. When you hear those code words, when you hear everyone should get a slice of the pie, no, they shouldn't. No, you should get the slice of the pie that you helped to make. Communism is encroaching on the shores of America. God raised up Ronald Reagan to keep it at bay in the 1980s, and he's raised up Donald Trump to keep it at bay in your and my time today. We are literally, and I had an entire lesson, but I'm out of time. We are literally at a point to where we have to have a strong man such as Donald Trump for our children's future. Ladies and gentlemen, why is this movie playing in your theater? I want you to make it a family project. Get out, go watch it, bring everyone with you you can. We must remind Americans what communism is, what words it's hidden in, what code words it's hidden in. Ladies and gentlemen, God himself is a capitalist. Oh, yes, he is. He said, if a man doesn't work, don't let him eat. We are dying in this nation. The house is burning down. Listen to me. The roof is on fire. And I'm calling every one of you to forget those little issues that you may not agree with, and let us together bring in the firemen that can put out the fires of communism as Reagan did in the 1980s. God always raises up a man. God bless you. I'll be right back for Afterglow.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife, I'd thank my lucky stars to be living here today.
'Cause this flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land.
God bless the USA.
lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea,
from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA,
where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to be, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.